Welcome to the League of Nerds comic book segment number 43. I'm John Cooney, here to talk to you about comics released the 28th of November 2012. We'll begin as usual with my first five, meaning these are the first 5 books I intend to read this week, and I'll go into a little more depth on each of them, starting with at number 1, New Avengers number 34, which was solicited as The New Avengers Era Ends, not with a whimper, but with an extra-sized action-packed bang. The last issue of New Avengers is actually all said and done. What is the future of the New Avengers? Is there a future? Find out here. From series writer Brian Michael Bendis, quote, "I'm going out with a very pleasant note personally. I just finished an Avengers run with Walt Simonson. I'm working on New Avengers with Michael Gaydos, Michael Avon-Oeming, Carlos Pacheco, and Mike Deodato. The very last issue we're doing this big jam sequence. I like to do these jam sequences every once in a while, which are very difficult on editorial. I find them to be a lot of fun if you can find the right reason to do them. We found one, and me and Tom are gathering together a group of very unique, very out-there artists, people who I feel have been exciting to me that are outside of the Marvel mainstream. We're pulling them in to let them show off a little bit to a larger audience, people whose books I've been buying that are very exciting. I feel like we're leaving on a high note," close quote. At number 2, we've got Morning Glories number 23. Now, last time I spoke about Morning Glories, I explained that the series writer Nick Spencer envisioned the series as a set of 4 25-issue seasons, concluding at issue 100. That puts issue 23 in the middle of the 4th arc of the first season, focusing on a new group of students referred to as the Truants that we saw on the cover of issue number 21. Spencer says, quote, "This arc is just slightly more linear than the last one, in that we'll spend the next few issues, 21, 22, and 23, with one following fairly close after the other. This is about the Truants and what they've done and how it's impacted the Academy, as well as why they've done it. The flashback story will cover not only their arrival, but also what became of them at the Academy. By the time we get to number 25 and the big season finale, we should have a very good idea of what's happening and how it all connects. A lot of this stuff may seem like disparate parts going all the way back to issue number 12, but we'll suddenly see how one thing led to another and the cause and effect that led us here. I think by number 25, while you certainly won't have all the answers, all the moving parts that seem disconnected will meet. That will push us right into the start of season 2 in number 26, which is all big, big stuff." Close quote. At number 3, we've got Before Watchmen, Ozymandias number 4. I previously discussed the exceptional artwork by Jay Lee on this project, but in so doing I overlooked another aspect of this controversial set of books that are set as prequels to Alan Moore's groundbreaking Watchmen series, and that's this. It's notable that the popularity of Alan Moore's work on Saga of the Swamp Thing laid the foundation for his ability to produce Watchmen. And now, after the success of Watchmen, Moore disavows these prequels as, quote, "completely shameless," close quote, and made it clear that he did not want them to happen. The irony is not lost on Ozymandias series writer Len Wein, who created Swamp Thing along with artist Bernie Wrightson. Quote, "He's arguably the last person in the world to complain about this. If I had felt as he feels, he may never have had a career in the States because he wouldn't have written Swamp Thing." Close quote. As for Ozymandias, Wayne says he is, quote, "one of my favorites because he's the most elusive character. You never know if what he's saying to you is true. One of the things I love about the way I'm telling the story is that I'm telling his life story literally from birth to the moment we first see him in Watchmen, and he's lying half the time. If you look at the pictures and you look at the copy, you realize half the time that's not what's happening. They don't agree. So you have an interesting story going because it's going on 2 levels. There's the story he wants you to believe, there's the story that's actually happening, and then of course there's the story we already know." Close quote. At number 4, we've got All New X-Men number 2, just 2 weeks after, and with the same solicit as issue number 1. It's a blast from the past as the original 5 students of Professor X, Cyclops, Marvel Girl, Iceman, Angel, and Beast, are plucked from the past and brought to the present. But what they find, the state that their future selves are in and the state of Xavier's dream, is far from the future they had dreamed of. And how will the X-Men of the present deal with their past coming crashing forward? Series writer Brian Michael Bendis says of the cast interaction, quote, "The core cast of this series will change over time because characters come and go and things shift around. Obviously, the original 5 will be part of the book. We'll also have modern-day Cyclops and the characters that originally sided with him, like Magneto. I had a breakthrough with Magneto that I'm so excited about, so he'll be coming up very shortly. Plus, you have all the staff at the Jean Grey School. We're not focusing on the kids. The kids are what Jason Aaron's Wolverine and the X-Men is about, more or less. But we'll have Wolverine, Iceman, Storm, Beast, Kitty, and quite a few others. We'll have 3 factions. and all these characters are interacting. Plus, there will be a lot of new characters that you haven't met before. There are some fans that are very, very focused on the original 5, and they should be because they're the emotional core of the book. But there are a lot of other characters, a lot of people's favorite characters are going to be front and center right away. Close quote. And at number 5, we've got Talon number 2. Talon is the series that's spinning out of the Night of the Owl storyline that features former circus escape artist Calvin Rose, a Court of Owls assassin who leaves the court after he's ordered to kill a woman and her child. Now he's returned to Gotham in the aftermath of Batman's crusade against the court, but finds they still have a very dangerous presence in the city. Series writer James Tynion IV says, "We're going to see a lot more of who Calvin is, a lot more people who have been a part of his life and will be a part of his life in the future. And we're also going to see the introduction of the largest threat we've seen so far in this series." Close quote. Rounding out the top 10 at number 6, we've got Uncanny Avengers number 2. What are the Red Skull's new powers? How did he become the most powerful man on Earth? Can Havoc and Thor defeat the spreading influence of Honest John, the living propaganda? Rogue and Scarlet Witch trapped on the Isle of Red Skull's S-Men. Wolverine and Captain America uncover the truth behind the worldwide mutant assassination epidemic. At number 7, we've got Ultimate Comics X-Men number 19. There's an all-new direction for the Ultimate X-Men. Kitty tries to lead a new nation of mutants, but someone close to her has different plans. Brian Wood's epic Reservation X arc begins here. At number 8, we've got Batman The Dark Knight number 14. Kidnapped and tortured by the Scarecrow, the Dark Knight is finally free and looking for serious payback. Is this the end of the Scarecrow's reign of terror? Not by a long shot. At number 9, we've got Before Watchmen Silk Spectre number 4, originally scheduled for October 24th. After weeks of delays, we finally get the conclusion of this series, written by Darwin Cook and drawn by Amanda Connor, telling the coming-of-age story of a young Laurie Jupiter. And at number 10, we've got A+X number 2, Spider-Man and Beast fight zombies in a story by Kara Andrews, and Iron Man, Kitty Pryde, and Lockheed fight the Brood in a story by Peter David. For the best of the rest this week from DC, we've got Aquaman number 14. In the aftermath of The Others, who lives, who dies, and what is the fate of the Atlantean relics? The debut of Ocean Master. We've got Arrow number 1. This is a reprinting of the digital adventures from the TV series. Discover exciting new mysteries and plot lines for the ultimate Arrow experience, written by the show's creators and featuring covers and interior art from legendary Green Arrow the Longbow Hunters artist Mike Grell. We've got Batman Incorporated number 5, Return to the Future world scene in Batman number 666, where Damian has taken over the mantle of the Bat. The whole world has gone mad, and only sane people left are in Arkham Asylum, where Batman is the warden. We've got Flash number 14, Guerrilla Warfare rages on. Gorilla Grodd's more powerful than ever, and the Flash is completely outmatched. Who will give their life defending Central City against the ape invasion? We've got Fury of Firestorm, the Nuclear Man number 14. Nothing is going right for Firestorm as he battles Black Trident and tries to keep up a normal high school life. The reappearance of Firestorm is causing great concern in the DCU, and how is Captain Atom involved? We've got Superman number 14, following events in this month's Supergirl 14 and Superboy 14. It's their worst nightmare, a creature of unknown Kryptonian origin, more powerful than Superman, smarter than Supergirl, and more lethal than Superboy. His actions will change the course of a planet's fate. We've got Teen Titans number 14. With Red Robin missing, the rest of the team heads to Gotham City in search of clues. From Marvel this week, we've got Astonishing X-Men Annual number 1. Someone is attacking friends and associates of the X-Men, and it's up to Wolverine and his team to stop them. Meanwhile, newlywed Kyle learns the hard way that marrying Northstar also meant marrying his family, and in this case, Northstar's family is the X-Men. We've got FF number 1 with Mike Allred. We've seen the future, and it'll be fantastic. In the absence of the Fantastic Four, a substitute four handpicked by the real deal, Ant-Man, Medusa, She-Hulk, and Miss Thing, stand ready to guard the Earth and the nascent Future Foundation for 4 minutes. Now what could possibly go wrong? We've got Gambit number 6. Coerced by a criminal mastermind, Gambit is sent to the United Kingdom to heist the greatest weapon in the history of man, Excalibur. How will Marvel's premier thief manage to dupe his extortionist while also escaping with a clear name? Guest starring Pete Wisdom and MI-13. We've got Secret Avengers number 34, The Rise of the Descendants. The robots of Marvel's universe revolt. The Avengers are taken down, leaving only the Secret Avengers to stop Father's automaton invasion and the plague of the Descendants' contagious robot evolution. Why has Captain Britain just hurled mankind's only hope of salvation into a black heart of Earth 4680? We've got Thor God of Thunder number 2. Throughout the ages, the gods of the Marvel Universe have been vanishing, their mortal worshippers left in chaos. Now the mighty Thor follows a trail of blood that threatens to consume his past, present, and future selves. The only hope for these ravaged worlds lies with the God of Thunder unraveling the gruesome mystery of the God Butcher. Ultimate Comics Iron Man number 2, Demon in the Armor continues. The mystery of Ultimate Mandarin unfolds. What secret of Tony's has turned War Machine against him? We've got Venom 27.1, the fallout of Minimum Carnage is here. The wounds of Carnage still fresh. Flash Thompson confronts his past as a bully and makes a momentous decision about his future. We've got X-Men Legacy number 2, Legion, the most powerful and unstable mutant in the world and son to Professor Charles Xavier, has killed gods and reshaped the face of the universe. Now in the aftermath of Avengers vs. X-Men, Legion will finally attempt to conquer his demons and embrace his father's legacy. Got X-Treme X-Men number 7, an all-new jumping on point. The team's mission hits home as they land in the United States of California, birthplace of Kurt Wagner. What happens if they can't defeat this Xavier, and what does it mean for Nightcrawler? From Dark Horse this week, we've got Ghost number 2. Ghost returns to Chicago's Resurrection Cemetery, where paranormal investigators Vaughn and Tommy first summoned her to seek an answer to the riddle of her own identity. But digging too deeply into the past can unearth secrets that the city's elite would rather stay buried, and soon new threats are showing their faces. Kelly Sue DeConnick takes us deeper into a mystery that spans two worlds. From Image Comics, we've got Fatale number 10. Fatale's second arc comes to a brutal conclusion. Secrets are revealed and new mysteries are born as the femme fatale star goes from victim to hero. Out in trades this week, we've got FF by Jonathan Hickman, Volume 4 hardcover. The Future Foundation explores the furthest reaches of the Marvel Universe, from Wakanda to the Negative Zone, encountering the Wizard and Universal Inhumans along the way. Plus, what horror lurks inside Spider-Man and Human Torch's bathroom? This collects FF number 17 to 23. And last, we've got X-Factor Volume 17, The Road to Redemption trade paperback. 4 tales of suspense starring superhumanity's detective agency of choice. Madrox investigates a suicide case that isn't what it initially seems. Banshee is suspected of murder and sets out to clear her name, but ends up clashing with an actual Banshee. Strong Guy asks M out on a date, and Layla Miller races the clock. It's X-Factor action as only veteran scribe Peter David can provide. Collecting X-Factor 237 to 240. Well, that's it for me this week. Plenty of other books I didn't have a chance to get to, so be sure to check with your local comic book shop and see what else is available, and let me know what other books you're interested in that I might be overlooking. You can check in with me on my comic book blog at he'sgotissues.com and see what I'm reading as I read it, as well as give me your feedback. So until next week, I'm John Cooney, and I've got issues.